Hey everyone, and welcome back to the ATD Movie Channel. I'm Tony, and today I'll be reviewing 12 Strong, the declassified true story of the Horse Soldiers, starring Chris Hemsworth. Let's jump right into it. 12 Strong follows the very first soldiers sent into combat following the 9/11 attacks on the US. And because of the geography and topography of Afghanistan, these incredible men traveled by horseback through some of the toughest terrain in the world, encountering terrorists every step of the way. The film checks off a few familiar boxes in the war film genre, but it does a nice job in doing so. It shows us the men's bond with each other and the fact that they would do anything for each other, and that's sort of obvious. It's very patriotic in that these men are willing to sacrifice the comforts of home to fight for their country. But I wouldn't call the movie pro-war, and that's a delicate thing to do in a film like this. The writers had me rooting for the soldiers without feeling like this was a pro-war campaign. I thought this film had a nice balance and shied away from the politics of the situation at the time. And for me, above all, the story was the best aspect of the film. The writers did something so rarely done in a war film. They focused on the foreign allies tasked with helping the US achieve their goals. The movie showcases Afghan soldiers who fought side by side with the Americans. I can't remember the last time I saw a movie that did this. And I know it's been done, it's just so rare. Some of the best character development moments come when the leader of the Afghan army works together with the Chris Hemsworth character. The movie also dives deep into what the war in the region meant for the people of Afghanistan and how it affected them. The filmmakers don't shy away from criticizing the US either, and our habits of invading other countries, liberating them, and then just disappearing like a thief in the night. Overall, this is a fascinating story about courage, determination, and patriotism. I loved the story, and I'm genuinely upset these things are classified for so many years because these men deserve all the recognition in the world for their contributions to our country. The acting in the movie is pretty good. I can't call it great because the best material is reserved for just Chris Hemsworth. He does a fine job of showing the intangible traits of a leader. He's cool, calm, and collected as their mission pivots and changes along the way. Michael Shannon, while underutilized, is really great in this movie. Specifically, there's a scene where he's saying goodbye to his family that I just found to be heartbreaking. And there's very little dialogue in the scene. It's just all in his eyes. Michael Pena is so good. He adds a nice comedic touch for the slower moments in the film. And other supporting actors like William Fichtner and Rob Riggle add some believable exposition and dialogue to the film. And you can't talk about this movie without talking about the action sequences. You could tell that the actors were the ones actually riding these horses in the movie. Now, I've never ridden a horse, but I've heard it's incredibly difficult. Add to that these guys were using just one hand to ride the horse and the other hand to fire off guns, and that's not all. There's tanks and rocket launchers that the opposition are using against them. And with untrained Afghani militia by their side, you can imagine that the movie's action is nothing in comparison to the real-life action that happened back then. Director Nikolai Fuglsig and DP Ramses Vidabak used the camera in ingenious ways to tell the story. There's some amazing overhead shots of the battlegrounds that help show the magnitude of the damage caused by B-52 bombers dropping explosives onto the opposition. There's some shaky cam used in the movie, but it's just the right amount, and I think it helps the audience feel like we're also on horseback riding alongside these soldiers. Coupled with some great music by Lauren Balfe, and you have some heart-pounding action sequences that you haven't seen in a long time in a big blockbuster movie. As I mentioned earlier, I was a little bit let down with the lack of time spent on these soldiers' home life. Then again, the movie's already 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I'm always complaining about the length of films. I just felt like a little bit of sacrifice in regards to the second act would have helped benefit the film overall. The first act had to be difficult in terms of pacing and editing, because we need to move the story along quickly enough to get these guys to Afghanistan. But without better understanding what it is these guys are fighting for, we simply do not feel for these men as much as we should. And please don't misinterpret this as any major issues or anything like that. These are just minor complaints. In closing, I have to admit, I really like this movie so much more than I thought I would. The director, producer, and the cast have crafted a story of heroism that we can all appreciate. And the fact that the movie focuses attention on our allies in Afghanistan at all is a welcome change to the genre. So, have you seen 12 Strong? What did you guys think of it? Is this Jerry Bruckheimer's return to form? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be notified of content uploaded regularly. You can find other movie reviews on the channel as well. Thanks for watching my review for 12 Strong. I'll talk to you soon.